Yes.
the chieftain, Pubok. He told us about
Easy to make
how
creatures,
the
too.
tribes
Easy.
war in between him and his daughter about who they should be, whether the Sea of the Mother or Sea of the Father should be the deity. Chief Plubok, which we just called him Plut, I think. Nope. Yeah, Plut. He wanted us to help kill his daughter, and we agreed to help. So when we went into the city, they marched us around. We got all kinds of fish guts, all the good stuff on us. We were brought in front of a temple or a shrine to the Sea of the Father, Lean. And yeah, the photo up is what was described to us how ugly it is. During that incident, we met another dwarf named Herman. But during the ceremony, Plut bashed his daughter Blop over the head and killed her. And right before the big fight happened after that, Demogorgon, Demogorgon, the Prince of Demons, came spewing up out of the darkway and started heading its way to the city, the little small city they have, which Sluidot. And so we unhooked ourselves and made Al. He got terrified, and our smart little high elf rogue decided to stick him in a bag of holding, so we could carry him because he wasn't moving at all. So we stuck him in a bag of holding. He had 10 minutes of air. So we had to make it out of the city before then. We headed west out of the city, where we came across more Kuatos. We dropped Al out of the bag so he wouldn't die. And then we got in a big fight. We lost Edith. Eldrith.
The non-bearded one.
The non-bearded dwarf.
Yeah.
Yes. The non-bearded dwarf. We got she died. Shushar did not come with us. We do not know where he's at, nor Herman, the dwarf that we met at the shrine. We had a big old fight. Stor kills a Kuatoa, finally. He actually gets a hit. And then after that fight, we continue to head west towards Glackenstru. Which, if everybody were to introduce themselves, because it's been a while, I am Brother Eco, halfling monk.
Good recap.
I'm Al, and I'm a ranger.
I'm Edith, the bearded dwarf fighter.
And I'm Morbian, the half-elf bard.
And I'm Dave. I'm your dungeon master for tonight. You can all take a sit in my lap, and I'll start telling you a story right now. That's so creepy.
Creepy Uncle Dave.
Yeah, right.
It's also going to be about that time where we tell you our Christmas list.
Oh. Oh. I need a Christmas list. I need to put one together. Alright, so the last thing that we had done was you guys fought a bunch of Kuatoa. And you managed to get away from Demogorgon. The last thing you guys saw was him taking rather large steps while in the Dark Lake. And all you remember is him being about chest level, and after taking about 5 or 6 steps toward, Slubladop, he was up to about his knees in depth. So everybody bailed out, exited stage left really quickly. Yeah, and you made it out. It's just that the unfortunate thing was there was basically a Kuatoa raiding party that was coming back from a hunt. They didn't know what was going on, so big fight. A couple people went down. Actually, I think didn't, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Kara go down too?
Yeah, and Morven Hilda. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty close for her. I think she was at 2 strikes also for death. But you guys got her stabilized, and now you guys are off. You have, you actually lost track of Shushar back in Slubladop, so you don't know what happened. You don't have any clue what happened to Shushar. But where you're at, in that western corridor, you can actually hear Demogorgon still, hollering and screaming. You can hear smashes and all kinds of thuds. So it sounds like he's having a party for being summoned in Slubladop. Or is that how he was summoned? Who knows? All you know is one of the demons from the Elemental Chaos is now ripping up the Underdark. And you guys have actually, a few of the others have talked about madness starting to spread as well throughout the Underdark because of, strange things that have been happening. So, as you guys, I'm going to give you guys are going to be back at full health, full everything. I'm going to give you guys a, because, as, as you guys remember, it wasn't our typical type of game for resting and, stuff like that. I mean, we had, I think at one point everybody had like 10 or 12 inspiration and max crits, and that was pretty crazy. That was fun to do. But we're back to normal now. Everybody has 1 inspiration. So you guys let me know if you want to use your inspiration, and you'll have advantage on that roll, whether it be an attack roll, skill check, or saving throw. All right, so now, as you can hear Demogorgon destroying everything still in Slubladop, you guys know that you can still travel west. Now, I know you want to go to 3 locations. I know that you want to go to Blingden Stone, and Blingden Stone is where Topsy and Turvy want to go. I know you guys also want to go to the Neverlight Grove, which is where Stool wants to go back to his Myconid Sproutling family. And then you guys want to go to Gracklstug, which is where Bapido needs to go. You guys are miles and miles and miles and miles below the surface of the Sword Coast, and frankly, no one in the party knows how to get out of the Underdark. Now, you don't want to travel through the Dark Lake again because you've got Demogorgon. Unless you want to take a chance, I don't know. You could try to take a chance and maybe scour the walls. Maybe you want to try to find maybe a ferryman. Maybe you want to try to find someone that has maybe a flying ship available to them. But you've got quite a bit of traveling to do. And where you're at, I'm going to give you a little bit of mileage of where you're at. So, you're in Slubladop pretty much right now. You need to go to Gracklstug. Alright, Gracklstug is literally 28 days away from Slubladop. 28 days, and that's just in the Dark Lake. The Dark Lake extends 28 days to the north. Gracklstug is on the coast of the Dark Lake. You guys want to go to Neverlight Grove. Neverlight Grove, Gracklstug is 20 days away from 20 days away from Slub. Neverlight Grove is 26 miles away from Slubladop, and Blingden Stone is 20 days away from Slubladop. So, you guys have, and that's at a normal pace. You could get there quicker, meaning if you found a ferryman, or if you found someone that has like a balloon airship. So what do you guys think?
If we ask like the twins, or not the twins. The what's his name?
Bupido?
Bupido.
The Darrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So, is there like on the way to Gracklstug, is it all just barren tunnels and stuff, or are there any smaller settlements that you're aware of on the way? Like maybe on the shore, like any fishing villages
Yeah,
or
oh yeah.
small communities?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Pepito, he definitely knows that there are actually some that are actually pretty close. Hopefully they weren't destroyed by that demon that surfaced out of the dark lake. Maybe we can find there, but I do know of several of these caverns. I have ventured in this area before, and I think there is a town maybe to. It depends on what you want to do, my friends, because we could get there by boat, or we could probably travel by air. My opinion, I would rather be way up into the air, looking down at Demogorgon. But then again, there are other creatures of the Underdark that love to fly as well. So it's sort of like a sword's edge, or a dagger's point. We have to balance it. So do we travel by air, or do we travel by water?
Do you, or and I look, look at the twins. Do any of you know which be closer, or any place that we would be able to find this travel? I imagine that probably water travel would be quicker to find. More places probably have water than airships, but
Yeah, well, you can get to. Let me pull up this. Let me pull this map, Underdark map up again. I love this map. This map is a pretty darn good map right here of the Underdark. Here we go. Now, here's the Dark Lake. The thing you're going to notice, you're here at Sloob. You're going to be able to get to Gracklstugh, which is 26 days away. Sorry, Neverlight's 26. Gracklstugh's pretty much 20 days away, and then Blinging Stone, which is to the north, is pretty much 20 days away. So we could start by. I'm sorry, I'm out of character. Yes, we could probably start by boat and travel the Dark Lake for quite a while, and then maybe find some type of air vessel, because I truly don't want to be caught by any creatures or any more of these Kuatoa or lizard men. There's a lot of other things that live around the lake as well. And then you have to take into consideration there are mind flayers around as well. So things could get pretty quick. Things could rather quickly get rather bad. And don't forget, of course, we have Ilvara and Jorlin still on our trails. So that's something that we want to maybe try to cover our tracks. And traveling by water and traveling by air could probably definitely do that. But the Drow, it seems like they always have their way for finding their prey.
lucky they may think that we got eaten by a Demogorgon.
Unfortunately, they weren't walking into Slubladop when he reached the shore. We can only hope that was the case.
No, they would think that we got eaten.
Yes.
If they follow us to Slubladop, they may see that destruction and think that we're out of the picture.
That could be. I was hoping they were walking in as soon as Demogorgon was.
That'd be great.
Yes, that would be best case scenario. Worst case is they find our scent.
What do you guys think?
I just would like to know where on here you can find an airship. I mean, I would think that would be like in a major city, not on a shore, but I don't know. I don't know the area. So.
I think first things first is to get the hell away from Slubladop in any manner.
Well, yeah, if we want to just start heading west in Bapito, if you're aware of any place nearby or on the way close by, that we could stop and maybe start to get some, book a ship, or even a ferry or a rowboat or something to help speed this along. By all means, let us know.
Sorry, guys, my son was in here. I had to. You all right, bud? All right. Yeah, he's going to Halloween Horror Nights tonight. How many times is this year now? Your 7th or 8th time? Must be nice, dude. Must be nice.
So yes, we want to kind of head out, start moving to the west, and if Pepito can, help guide us towards some place that would have some kind of vehicular mode of travel to help us along, then
Yeah.
please do.
Well, I know probably a couple days traveled from here. There was an old air post on the walls of the Dark Lake, and I remember a couple of old Smith-Neblin brothers used to run an airship. Maybe they're still there, maybe they're not. It has been quite a few decades since I've traveled that way, but it's not like we're more than 3 weeks out from anywhere anyway. So we could take a chance, and I think his name was, I think they were the Rumblefoot brothers, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we can find the Rumblefoot brothers, and maybe they can navigate us around the edges of the Dark Lake and get us to our destinations. That would probably be about the right thing to do, but what I remember from them, they were pretty savvy bargainers. So this may cost us. This may cost us pretty heavily. But I could lead us the way if you want. I could lead us to their airship facility if you'd like. Hopefully, if it's still there.
That's
That
as
sound
good as
good to
any,
everyone?
yeah, that's good as anything besides going back in the salute to find out if Demigod is still there.
Oh, you can hear him crashing shit up. I mean, yeah, you can hear him. He's still screaming, and even several of the, even down this western corridor, several of the Kuatoa have ran right by you guys, not even paying any attention to you. All right, so you guys want to travel for a couple days and see what happens? See if there's any kind
See
of
if we
random
can find
encounters.
this air post. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the air station.
All right. So why don't one of you guys give me a just a regular D20 roll. Hopefully they roll low. Ah, that is good. Yeah, in the Underdark, usually the way I do random encounters is like this. If you're in a daylight, it's usually like a 19 or 20. If it's night, usually it's like 18, 19, 20. But the Underdark, it's even more random than that. So it's going to be lower. But that's good. You want to roll low. That's for sure. All right, so you guys travel for 2 days. You're traveling all throughout the Underdark. Lots of different, you find a couple of geysers, and you're able to rest there. Everybody's able to get cleaned up. You find plenty of fungus fields. I'm not even making you do any kind of forage rolls for Al. It's just, this stuff is just growing everywhere, especially around the Dark Lake. Because there's such a heavy concentration of water, and small little streams cutting off, waterfalls falling off of the cliffs into the lake. So yeah, you guys actually have a pretty safe travel over 2 days. You do see that there was a traveling caravan, and it had about 40 duergar. 40 duergar that traveled by in a possession. And it seemed like they were probably going to Gracklestug. But, as Bepito and Topsy and Turvy, and you guys know this about the duergar as well, is they basically encourage slavery. So you guys were able to, pretty much stay hidden out of the sight of the duergar as that massive, 40 duergar brigade goes by. It had all kinds of wagons, and there was actually a couple pieces of war machinery that they were wheeling as well. Large mammals that you've really, quadrupedal mammals that you really have never seen before. Long snouts, huge tusks coming off of the front of them, pulling all these large pieces of war machinery. It definitely looked like a military fighting unit. Seems like they were traveling the corridors to Grackelstug, and that's what Bupito suggested as well. So you guys start to find several more of these small villages, and what I mean the villages is they're sort of like hanging in baskets, and it's not because there's no light in the Underdark. So, but there are all of these phosphorant colored mushrooms that do light specific areas and corridors. And Bupita says that you guys are starting to get close. So as you guys are starting to travel, you're starting to get closer and closer. You're starting to run into more and more of these small little villages. And these villages are like sort of hanging in like baskets, sort of attached to all these myconids that are hanging off of the cavern walls and the ceilings, and carved into the stalagmites and the stalactites, sort of like what Velkenvelv was like too. So they're sort of like a mixture, and it's mostly Svirfneblin, and they're not aggressive towards you. They see that Topsy and Turby are there. Bupito, they're all speaking Undercommon, and you guys, they're translating back to you that the brothers are not, the two brothers are not around anymore, but one brother is still alive, and his name is Oddup, and he's one of the Rumblefoot brothers, but he still has a ship. So Bupito talks to a couple of the elders of this small village and gets the new route. A lot of cave-ins have happened in the past since Bupito's been here, so your routes have kind of changed a little bit. But he eventually leads you to this small. There's sort of like a very small little lake, and like this. I don't want to say a massive cavern, but it's probably. You can see stalagmites hanging down from the ceiling, and it's probably about a 30 to 40 foot tall, maybe 50 foot tall cavern, and it's in the center of the cavern, and you can see that there is a sort of like a wooden not. It's the fungus that has wood, because Al, I forget the exact name of it, but let me look that up really quick. It'll be an easy find for me. Here it is, the Zerkwood. It is they're like 30 to 40 foot high mushrooms, but they're actually part tree as well. So you can see that there's this passage made of the Zerkwood, and then there's a hut that's sort of like embedded into the side of the cavern, and you can see a couple small little, well, probably lights coming out of windows, probably from either like maybe fairy fire, maybe some type of mushroom, maybe a candle itself. And there's a little sign at the base that says, "The Midnight Raven is for hire." What's wrong, bud?
And Midnight Raven is the ship that Oddup ferries around.
Now do what now, Joe?
That's the name of the ship that.
It says it says the Midnight Raven, and then it sort of has like it's on a wooden plank sign, and then it has a board hanging on top of it under it that's on two little hooks. It says for hire, and it's like a really sloppy painted for hire, sort of like dripping down and whatnot. And you kind of lift up the sign, and then it says not for hire under it. So yeah, he's got a little sign on top that says for hire. Inquire within.
I just want to let everybody in the group know, don't mention to this guy exactly why we're wanting to use the airship instead of going around. Like, don't let him know there's demons out there, because he might try to charge us more than normal. Gotta be savvy about your negotiating.
I'm pretty sure he's heard probably about the demon coming out of the water. If he travels the dark way regularly, he probably heard about it already.
That was sort of like the big little village talk as you guys were going through. Did you know that there's demons taking over the Underdark? We're all gonna perish. You know, it seems like a lot of the denizens of the Underdark are actually worried. Zirkwood, that was.
Head on in.
All right, so Bupito, he kind of knocks on a little bit, and this is yeah, you guys are traveling up this, these stairs made out of Zirkwood. And sometimes you guys are stepping, you can feel the stuff kind of bend a little bit because of all of the weight that's going up this, and you guys are actually to the little office area, probably his home as well. And you can see, as you kind of walk by the windows, you can see that there is a very dark gray deep gnome, Svirf Neblin, sitting in a chair way back with a pipe in his mouth and got his feet up, and he has a book sort of like propped on his chest as he was reading something. And then Bupito knocks on the door and kind of startles him as you're kind of looking in the window, and he answers the door real gingerly.
Yes, what would you like? Hello? Are you looking for passage with the Midnight Raven?
Yes, we are, good sir.
Ah, how many of you are out here? Oh, there's quite a few.
And there's also a ship. There's sort of like another, sort of like a rope bridge, wooden slash, well, a Zirkwood slash rope bridge that goes to another platform, and then you can see that there's an airship on the other wall of the cavern as the rope bridge kind of goes around, and this little ship looks like this. Of course, it's darker. It has a sort of like a large balloon, and it's attached onto. It looks like a rather large wooden rowboat.
And he says, you seek passage with the Midnight Raven. Come in. Come in.
All right, I'll follow him inside.
All right. Yeah, you guys are all piling into his office slash home, and he's like,
oh, maybe we may have a little bit too much weight in my home. I hope it doesn't. I hope it holds. I think it will. It's Svirf. It will hold.
Looks like fine construction. I don't think you're going to have any problems.
So what do you need with Oddup?
and then he kind of bows a little bit, and he says,
Oddup Rumblefoot, at your service. I will take the adventures anywhere.
Well, we've heard, stories about your fine airship, and we're wondering if we could book package to Gracklestone.
Stories. What types of stories have you heard?
Well, we've heard
hopefully they're true.
Well, me too. We've heard that you're honest and fair, and your ship is one of the safest that can be found.
Absolutely. My brother had the other ship, but that is a long story. My brother is no longer around. So, but I still have the Midnight Raven. She was our first ship. But I will have another ship again, but not anytime soon. Business has been kind of slow lately because of all of the weird things that have been happening here in the Underdark.
Really? people haven't been wanting to get away from